escape. Vibration on my soul, it sends me to the peak. Without no regret, you got no love. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no love. A melody where I belong in this life.
Welcome back to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another live stream. Obviously, I've done one earlier, last minute to Liverpool versus Leeds. Obviously, my other team. We're here for the Luton show, episode 24. And obviously, we're going to do it a little bit different. So with me, of course, like always, is my dad. How are you, Dad?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm decent. But yeah, obviously in today's one, we'll be talking about the West Brom win during the weekend, what a win that was, and then obviously previewing Stoke. Now, can we beat Stoke? That is what we'll get into. But obviously we'll start off with West Brom, like I said. And Dad, you was only able to catch your highlights on this game, wasn't you?
Yeah, because I was busy, mate. Yeah, as you know. But
Yeah,
I was only able to catch highlights and just some comments and stuff.
Yeah. Was you able to see the starting lineup? If not, I'll go for it.
No, go for it again. I know most of it.
Yeah. So in goal was Steer. Obviously it was the 3-5-2. Obviously Lockyer, Osho, Naismith were at the back. Bree and Bell wing backs. Obviously Bree on the right, Bell on the left. Campbell and Ruddock. And then it looked like ahead of them was Musgrave, and then the two up top were Jerome and Adebayo. What did you make of
that? It's good. Musgrave needs to get a start. He needs to keep getting these starts and getting better. From what I gather, I don't think he was too effective in that game compared to Ruddock and Campbell. But he needs to run it. Look at Campbell when he first started. He weren't how he is now. Certain players are like that. They just need more matches. So yeah, I could understand that. You're glad Osho was brought back in, because I don't think he deserved to be sort of dropped in the first place. Steer, we predicted that anyway. He had couple of dodgy moments, but that's just rustiness. That's all that is. And the kick, that could have been worse. Other team, West Brom on form would have scored that, but Jerome, it's interesting. But again, Jerome's been playing all right, so I could see why I went with Jerome. He has got that experience, and it is starting to show now. This is what we wanted from him at the start of the season. So pretty decent lineup, considering we've still got players out as well, especially midfielders.
Yeah, attacking midfielders, the options are not looking great.
Yeah, exactly.
So I totally agree with that. I was pretty happy with that lineup. It was interesting to see, the likes of Jerome and that, but I sort of expected it in a way, because obviously he's got that experience with playing the team that are also fighting for playoffs. So it does make sense. He hasn't, played in a few games now, so I sort of did understand that, and I didn't mind that at all. Obviously, as you said, good to see Musgrave as well. But yeah, we'll talk a bit about the first half, like we briefly did then. So, obviously, I watched a bit of it. I watched it up till like 75th minute. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how they didn't score in that first half. Obviously, that Steer mistake, like you mentioned, a bit of an unlucky one. And then there was a moment where Naismith tried playing it across as well. And then as soon as they dinked it, even Steer, I think, thought it was in. Lucky enough, it wasn't for us. Osho cleared it off the line as well. It was crazy. It was honestly crazy. I don't know how they didn't score any of them chances. We had a chance as well. Jerome, quite unlucky, to be honest, hit the post. But yeah, it was 0-0. But it wasn't a bad 0-0. I've seen a lot more boring 0-0 games, and obviously, like I said, with the chances they had, I don't know how it was 0-0. Our chance, as I said, for Jerome is pretty unlucky, if you ask me. But yeah, it was one of them really. But yeah, I suppose you can't really say too much, can you? Because as you said, you only saw like the highlights and that.
Yeah, but because normally what I like, if I listen to it or watch it, whether I could see the individual performances more, but that's all I couldn't see in this game. But I saw the chances they had, and yeah, they should have definitely have scored, but they didn't. That happens in games. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that we did.
Yeah.
They could have scored one. We potentially could have beaten 2-1, or it could have been 2-all. Fact is we took. We're taking our chances now, and we are that means you are an established championship side. I keep banging on it, but things like that. If you don't take your chances, you don't get the points. Don't matter who you are. If you take chances, you're getting the points, and that's what we're doing a lot more of now. And teams now are scared to play us. The fans ain't. The fans hate it, but the players on the pitch at the moment, they're like, oh, we know they're tricky. Doesn't matter. They don't think, oh, Luton's a crap. From a footballer's perspective, they know they're up against a good team. They're not thinking, oh, this town's crap, their stadium's crap, this is crap. And if they do think like that, they've already lost. So it's different for footballers, and that's what some fans need to realise, that it doesn't work like that. Well, it's good to see. I love hashtag teams like Luton. Love it. I've always loved it, and long may it continue, because it just helps us.
Yeah, no, definitely. Going to what you were saying about like the players and that, you can see it, and with the managers as well. Teams are starting to drop off when they're playing us away from home, and stuff like that. With decisions, they're not going all guns blazing like people used to think they could do. So yeah, I totally agree with that. But we'll move on to the second half now. Obviously, we got the goal in the second. Well, one of the two goals anyway. Jerome, brilliant header, brilliant cross from Naismith, and yeah, I was buzzing when that went in. I was going absolutely mental. So yeah. But anything you want to say about that goal, other than it was a great goal?
Yeah. Again, Naismith made a mistake with a pass. Could have been worse, wasn't, but then provides an assist. He's always doing something in the game, even if he makes a mistake. And yeah, great at he sort of that's what you need him to be doing. Using his experience.
His first league goal as well. His first league goal
against us. Yeah. So, and it's against someone who was in the Premier League last year. Good goal.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then we made a change. I was a little bit surprised, not with who was coming off, but who was coming on. So we had Musgrave come off and Lansbury come on. I was a little bit surprised about that, but it was one of them. And then obviously later on, Campbell scores another absolute banger. Now, obviously, he did score a banger against Bournemouth, but obviously the main talking point from that was the Naismith winner. And then this goal as well, absolute rocket. Now, if I'm to compare them two goals, the one he scored against Bournemouth and this one, they're both bangers, like I said, but I think this one was even better. The way it just left his foot, and it's lovely.
Yeah. The confidence from him.
Yeah.
And he is good at striking the ball. So if he can chip in with 6, 7, 8 goals a season, and we get a couple of midfielders like that, get the strikers getting 15s, and we're always going to be in contention for the playoffs. Yeah, and I'm not getting ahead of myself, but that's what it is generally. Unless your striker's Mitrovic, you need other players to chip in, and that's what I think we're looking to get out of him. He's like a Kevin Nichols. Some people, I don't know if anyone's listening that know about that man, but he was like that, feisty in midfield, going in for the tackles. You know what I mean? Like, anchoring up that midfield and then bombing forward with some banging goals as well. And that was our last best team. He was in it, you know. And if I said that, I think I said it before, we need someone like him. And if Campbell's looking like he could potentially be that player, we haven't had that for a long time. You know, that's like your Vieira's, Gerrard, you know, Kevin Nolan, them midfield warriors who just fight for everything and then score goals as well. Every team needs one of them. Catalyst in midfield. If you ain't got that, I don't think you're not really winning. You're not challenging for anything. But that's from experience, you know, watching football for, you know, years and years and that. If someone's got that in their midfield, you know, Roy Keane, Lampard, Gerrard, do you know what I mean? Like them players.
Paul Scholes, you know, the list goes on.
Scholes, yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know, he weren't great at tackling though. He's slightly different. You know, passing, everything else, great. Tackling was, you know, but that weren't his game. But Campbell's that. I like a feisty and someone who could get the ball, win the ball, fight other midfielders. Don't let them bust the game. Let them know they're in for a game. And he's probably going to keep his place to the end of the season. I think the way he's going, and it's, if we do get in the playoffs, he's going to be vital in that.
Yeah,
so
100%.
And I like that other players are stepping in. You know, like Bradley was always like one of the main guys. You know, captain, like everyone around, and this, that, and the other. Like now we're getting a couple of more kind of leaders in who can take over. Naismith, Campbell, you know, potentially Jerome, maybe even, like, you know, that's what you need. You know, I don't like Ruddock. I don't think he's captain material.
No.
He's good
agree.
with the players and that, but I don't think he's.
No, I think he's that sort of guy.
Certain mentality.
But if he used to have a team talk, everyone would laugh at him. It'd be like that sort of thing. Because, you know, he's like the banter, you know, that's how I see it.
Yeah. But, you need a certain mentality, and, you know, Campbell's definitely got that, and it's down to recruitment as well. You know, they loved him up at Motherwell. You know, they didn't want to see him. He'd been playing there for years as well. He's only 23. You know, and if he keeps playing like that,
mental to think he's that young.
He can get in the Scotland squad easily. They need someone like every international team needs someone like that. Yeah. So we'll see anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely. Before I get into the last little bit, well, a few little last bits I was going to get into on West Brom, I'll go through a comment. Big up Harry, obviously Luton fan. He says, yes, T, big up yourself, mate. Hope you're well. But yeah, obviously the next sort of bits I wanted to talk about that. So one of them was man of the match. And second of all, I love the shithousery from our players. That's brilliant. Lockyer again, and then Ruddock with the 2-0. But like, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, basically the deluded fans still to this day. You know, people sitting there going, "Oh, teams like Luton." So obviously, as you can see in the title, teams like Luton, eh? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's you know, some of the stuff they were saying was stupid. Obviously, I sent it to your dad. Obviously, you play for Luton, but you know, we're 2-0 up, and you know, it's typical. It's typical, and it's one of them. But what did you make of that? Did you think it was jokes?
Yeah, of course it is, because obviously what I've noticed this season, especially since the crowds have been back, is that they're away fans, wherever, home fan, if we go there, whatever, their opposition fans are trying to just roll the players up. Your shit, what are you doing? Shouldn't we? And they're hearing all this stuff, so they're responding to it, and it's just geeing them up, and they're just proving, well, all right, then watch us then. You know what I mean? This goes back to what I was saying earlier about the stadium and this, that, and the other. Some of these fans probably 10 years ago were like 14, you know, just started supporting West Brom when they were in the Premier League, and Luton were probably, you know, League Two conference, you know, and they hadn't done their research and they don't know Luton, you know, go on Wikipedia, you idiot. You know what I mean? We haven't just come up, you know, from the conference. I mean, usually, you know, look at the stadium. You see how old it is. It's pretty obvious that we've been an established club for a long time, but it's just, yeah, I love it. Crack on, you know.
Yeah, I do. I had to bring it up.
We will come on.
Funny,
if we play, you know, if we get into the Premier League and that, but you know, it's different. You know what I mean? But we'll still give it our all. But you know, so you know, if you're in the same league and the team's above you, and look, and you know, we've been in the Championship for 3 years now.
Yeah,
get a grip. You know what I mean?
No disrespect to Peterborough, but they're moving like with Peterborough. You know what I mean? Just come up and, you know, not looking great.
Rotherham, you know.
Yeah. Or, like, come on.
We're ahead of that. We're you know, we're basically on Brentford. That's what we are. We're just a year behind them.
Brighton,
2 years behind.
Brentford, them sort of ones. That's
what I'd say. So, you know, I know we're not a top. You know, there's always steps. You know, we're not Liverpool. We're never going to be Liverpool. You know what I mean? But we're a club. We've got a great support. Do you know what I mean? We've got a great potential, and you know, let's carry on. I'm proud to support this club. I don't give a shit. So yeah, and it's good. Let them. You know, you play for Luton, you idiot, and all that. but yeah.
Well, what I was going to do to the people that haven't seen it. I've got the clip up, so I'll play that unless there's any final things you want to say, Dad?
No, it's just I think it G's the players up. You know, look at Lockyer. He loves it. You know, because he's respecting the club that he plays for. He's a professional. He's a professional football player. He's not going to be wanted to, you know, so because you play for this team. They don't understand. Like I said, players know. It's the fans can get a bit deluded. You know, and that's you know, and that's all it is. But yeah.
So let me just get it up, and we will we'll play the clip, as I said, so you lot know what we're on about. If you don't know what we're on about, so yeah, this is it. Oh,
fuck off! Fuck off, you fucking wanker! Fuck off! Oh, fuck off! You play a fucking load of cunts! Fuck off! Yeah, fuck off! Fuck the Scotland You're
So yeah, people, that was the clip. You know what I mean? It's just funny, a Luton fans at the end as well. Who are ya? And then Scottish.
Whatever, you know, it's just banter.
You know what I mean?
It's just banter, innit? Like, you know, they probably, you know, at the end of the day, lost, you know. And I can understand how they're angry.
I didn't like about that clip. Obviously, you play for Luton, and then the other bit at Campbell. Like, there's no need to say that. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't hear what was said. You know.
Wait, what was that? Sorry,
I didn't hear what was said.
Oh, they were like, you Scottish something. Like, you
don't give a shit. You think that bothers him? Do you think that bothers him?
No, I don't think it does. But, you know, it's come on. You don't need to say that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, you know,
I get you frustrated that your team, you know, getting slapped up, but come on. You don't need to see that sort of thing.
Well, sure. They'll be happy anyway because, you know, they're Brummies, aren't they? So Peaky Blinders is coming out again on Saturday, I think. So.
Oh, dear. But, yeah, obviously that guy got a lot of Luton fans, like, just saying, like, just because at the end of it, he was like, oh, can't go to his Tin Pot Stadium. You know, loads of Luton fans shut him down. I think he just liked the comments because, you know, he had no response to it. That's what I will say.
But he did. He went to the Tin Pot Stadium and his team got humbled.
I mean, when the people were saying stuff on his vlog and everything, you know, even his dad that he was doing the vlogs with underestimate 4-1 before the game. Shut up, mate.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, this is why they're deluded, because their team had a run. They haven't scored a goal in about 5 hours of football. They've been slipping down the table, you know, like Watford, You know, just do your Luton are in form. You've got potential. Yeah, you should potentially, as a club, you probably should be beaten. On paper, we should be, but the game ain't played on paper, is it?
Yeah, true.
You ain't scored for ages. I mean, are they looking at Luton thinking, oh, they must be lucky. They must be lucky to be 8th. Or they must be lucky to be finishing above us.
People actually think that.
Yeah, but they must do.
Deluded.
They must do. Or they're just lucky. They're just lucky. That's it. They're just getting like. They obviously don't watch any of our highlights or anything like that. We're not on the TV all the time and stuff like that. So they're just presuming, you know, like that Sheffield United fan who was giving it before. You know, yeah, they're doing all right at the moment, but I'm still telling you we'll finish above them. Just telling you now. And, you know, that's the worst team I've seen play at the stadium. Bollocks, mate. That's what, and we was above them at the time. You know, what are you on about? Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I know. It's one of them. But what I will say, you know, because I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. When we get to the Premier League, I can't wait for the saltiness. I can't wait. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love. I know you're the same. You know what I mean? Of course.
I'm loving it now. I'm loving it now.
Oh yeah. There's that.
But,
big team. You know,
we're going to get these teams getting
the top league. You know what I mean? It's going to be. Oh, it's going to be lovely. But yeah, that's really everything about that bit. And then the last bit I wanted to ask you, man of the match for you. Now, there's a few shouts. Obviously, Campbell, Jerome, Ruddock actually got it at the stadium. Now, obviously, I didn't go, but I heard about it. You know, he did play decent, but for me personally, I think Campbell and Jerome were better. But yeah, who would you give man of the match?
Well, you know, because like I said, I normally base my, you know, man of the match on what I've seen or what I've heard on the radio, whatever, you know. And I can't really do that. But, you know, from what I've heard, comments and, you know, little things I've seen and, you know, the way he's improving game after game, because he's young, is going to be Campbell for me.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. As I said, him and Jerome, I think they're the top 2 shouts for that game. I'm going to go with the opposite. I'm going to go with Jerome. Now, the reason I say that, obviously, he got his first league goal, good goal as well, and he put in a really good shift. Like, even in the first half, you know, he's coming back, helping defensively. Got unlucky with that shot in the first half as well. So yeah, I'd have to say Jerome, but Campbell, as you said, definitely up there for a shout. Another rocket of a goal, just getting better and better. You know, he always puts in the shift. So yeah, but I'm gonna give it to Jerome. You know, he obviously got asked to be put in this game. You know, experienced West Brom team, obviously former Premier League team with former Premier League players, and he done well. So he is my man of the match. But yeah, anything else you want to say about that before we move on to Stoke tomorrow?
Just that I'm pleased that Cameron Jerome's playing like how you'd probably kind of expect him to play, because he's got all that experience. Played in the Premier League, he's played for big teams, scored plenty of goals at these levels, and that's all we just wanted from him in the first place. Yeah. You know, you don't have to score every game, but just affect games. Use your know-how, use your experience and things like that. And yeah, I'm pleased that he's doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, you know, when we done Luton shows early on, we was just annoyed with his performances because, you know, like you mentioned there, we know he can do better.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, even if that doesn't come down, like we said, to scoring, you know, tons of goals, as long as you're, you know, putting in a shift like he did the other day, you know, maybe get a odd goal every now and then. But yeah, that's what we want to see of him, and we saw it the other day. So yeah, but I'm getting some comments. Wait, is there anything else you want to say, or is that last little bit about that?
Nah, that's it. Yep.
Cool. Big up Smith, Graham. He says hi. Big up yourself. But yeah, obviously we'll move on to the midweek game. Obviously, midweek games are back for us. Obviously, we had like a midweek sort of break, you could say, last week. Obviously, this week we've got Stoke. Oh, that's always a sticky one when we play these. Obviously, Nathan Jones, before he come back to Luton. Obviously, he was at Stoke, and we've said it plenty of times, even on here. We felt he wasn't really respected by some of the players, and it wasn't the greatest of times. But I think that comes down to the players' attitude and stuff like that, and huge part in that. But yeah, obviously, playing Stoke, never seemed to really have a good record against them, really, that I can think of. Obviously, when we played them earlier on in the season, went to that, we lost 1-0, and it was just, it's just one of them days, Stoke playing how they do, it works, pretty sure that was the game. John Moss was the referee, like, I don't know why these English Premier League referees, are in the Championship, you know what I mean? I was like, what? And some of the decisions he gave, it was a poor game. It was a poor game, weren't a great game. But yeah, obviously we're playing away from home. How are you feeling going into this one? Obviously we're on the back of a win, so there's a bit positivity. Against good opposition, but obviously Stoke also, fighting for them playoffs. But how are you feeling going into it?
Well, they struggled for 4. They've struggled for form. Yeah, we're above them at the moment. I think they're unbeaten though, but they've been drawing a bit. Normally we haven't beaten for ages. It's a hoodoo. It's another one of them things that needs to be overcome. Not necessarily a record to be broken, but Nathan Jones needs that. He needs that win against them. You know what I'm saying? Especially at their own stadium as well. I'm more confident going into this one than I would be previously, yeah. Because I know we have been performing against the top sides, and they should be a top side, but at the moment they're like West Brom, So I'm confident that we can get something out of the game.
Okay, fair enough.
But it wouldn't surprise me if we end up getting, if we lose or whatever, because they seem to have that hoodoo over us, like Birmingham. They just seem to have that. So it wouldn't surprise me. But
yeah,
I think we've got enough to beat them.
Yeah, no, I definitely see why you're more confident. Obviously, we're a better side as well. Like, players have gelled a bit more, and that sort of thing as well. Obviously we've been getting a lot more wins since them times. Them times it is a bit, up and down. Usually it's maybe a few wins, then unfortunate result, but it's better in that aspect. But yeah, obviously players. They look like they will not, most likely will not be available. Is the same for us. Obviously, Bradley, Berry, and Clark. So 2 attacking midfielders that we're missing, which is a bit annoying in that aspect. Obviously, players that have done well this season as well. Even Bradley, of course, captain as well. They're missing Sawyers, who is decent for them. They're missing a few others, but I'm not too sure who the players are. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So yeah, I suppose we'll just get into the lineup really. But before we do that, comments. Big Up Harry says I'm back. Predictions, we'll get into that. We're going to do a lineup that we'd both play, and then a prediction. So yeah, let me just get that up. And we'll get that sorted. So we'll do the usual. So I'll say what I would play, and then my dad will go through what he would play. So goalkeeper, I'm going to stick with Steer. He had that odd mistake, but overall he was good. In the last game. And I think that the mistake was unlucky anyway. Slipped. You know what I mean? But yeah, I need to change formation. So I'm going to go with I'm going to go to 5-3-2. with 5-3-2, because I was debating whether to go with a, 2 midfielders, then one higher up. But I'll go with a 5-3-2. Wing back, obviously, I'll go, not B, Bree. I don't know why I'll press that by accident. But left side, I'm going to go Bell. So obviously, they all played the other day. Where is he? There he is. And then defence, I'm going to go Naismith on the left side, of course. Then I'm going to go Lockyer on the right side. And then I'm going to go with Osho. And then midfield, I'm going to go Campbell in the centre. Where is he? There he is. And now I'm going to go Ruddock on the left side. And then on the right side, I'm going to go... I'm going to go... I'm going to go Musgrave. Why is it not coming up? There we go. So I'm going to go Musgrave, and then 2 up top, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go Adebayo. Not mean to... Geez, my spellings today is shocking. But yeah, I'm going to go Adebayo, and I'm going to go Cornick. Give him a go again. That's a lineup I'll go with. What do you make of that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, it's pretty spot on, to be honest, mate. I mean, keeper.
It's the same as the other day, isn't it? Just a different format.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm not sure if he's what formation he's gonna go with, but probably 3-5. To defense, I'd say exactly the same. Steer. You're not going to drop him, are you? You can play him for one game.
It wouldn't make sense to, would it?
He's going to be starting. He's already explained the reasons why he's going to be starting. So he'll be starting. Naismith, obviously. Osho, can't be dropping him. Lockyer, like I said, he's got that sort of fight a bit more. Burke's a decent player. Burke's a decent player, don't get me wrong. But for these type of games, I feel like you need Lockyer.
Yeah, away as well.
Yeah, you're going to stick with Bell, who had a good game apparently last game. Bree, obviously, you're going to stick with them. Midfield, Campbell has to start.
Yeah,
Ruddock probably will do. I'm not sure about Musgrave on that. Unless he does the same formation.
Oh right, so puts Musgrave higher up. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe, but I'd probably end up putting Ruddock or Lansbury on that side.
I was thinking Lansbury. I was even thinking Mendes Gomez potentially on the right side of midfield.
And up front, Adebayo. I've looked at it. They've got Jagielka in defence, who's 39.
Oh, yeah.
Good player, but it's 39. So I don't know about that one. I'd definitely start Adebayo, but then I'm thinking maybe for the toughness, I'd start Jerome again for the experience.
Yeah. Now the only reason I didn't put him in is I know realistically he shouldn't really be dropped because of his performance the other day, but it's just that getting on a bit. You don't want to play him in too many games. That's the only reason I didn't.
But I'm thinking, I could see Cornick. If you got that much pace up front, then Jagielka ain't doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing. And I was thinking,
it's going to be interesting.
Pace, getting in behind.
Yeah. And then, if it doesn't work, then bring the experience on it. Or it might be the other way around. Start Jerome, play him for a little bit, see what happens. And then if we need more pace, or we could see that pace potentially is going to cause havoc to that defence, especially Jagielka if he plays the whole, you know what I mean? Bring on Corner. bring on Mendes Gomez, bring on Fred. You know, I think pace is going to dictate this game, and if we can utilise it properly, we'll get a result. Definitely.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. They got the problem with Stoke. It links to what you just said there. A lot of their players are, you know, they're experienced, but they're getting on quite a bit. So
yeah, they're getting on.
The likes of, you know, Fred
got
and that.
plenty. You know, they've got good players. Yeah,
exactly.
But
yeah. So the only change you'd make is the Cornick one. Is that the only one you'd make?
No, and I probably wouldn't play Musgrave. I'd probably play Lansbury as well.
Okay. So 2 changes you'd make.
If Clark was fit, I'd put him there definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So there you go. There's Lansbury and did you say Jerome you'd start or?
Yeah, instead of Cornick.
Cool. Yeah. No, I won't be too annoyed about that lineup at all. If that is the case. So yeah. But yeah, it's that time. Score predictions. Now I'll just get mine over and done with. Because it's going to be announced soon that I've said it on someone else's channel anyway, so I might as well just say it now. Now, I have to be real. Due to the, you know, as much as we got a very good win against West Brom, and Stoke are obviously on recent form, well, actually probably doing as bad as each other on recent form, but Stoke obviously lower down in the table. I just don't know. Stoke away, the thing where we just can't, Nathan Jones unfortunately just can't seem to, you know, get that result over him. I'm going to have to go, I hate to say it, but a 1-0 to Stoke. It's one of them. It's one of them. But then again, you know, we've been breaking a lot of records this season. So hopefully that one can be broken. You know, we are a better side, like overall players, like I said earlier, players have gelled more and stuff like that when we last played them and stuff like that. We're starting to grind out results and, you know, Stoke away, I'll definitely take us grinding out a result. But yeah, I'm going to have to stick with what I said when I've done championship predictions the other day, 1-0 to Stoke. But Dad, what are you going for?
Well, mine's quite interesting actually. Because I keep seeing it this season, you know, and I've supported Luton, obviously, as you know, like most of my life. You know, and I see patterns. I see all the patterns, so I know, you know, what's going to happen most of the time. You know, not necessarily like to the T, but how things are going. And I think that this is going to be the game because he's had a few attempts, but I think this is going to be the game where we break that hoodoo. Nathan Jones breaks that hoodoo and get that result. I think so. I think Steer's going to have an outstanding game. I think the players are going to step up. You know, the players obviously know that, you know, there's that little bit of sort of extra zest in this game because Nathan Jones is going to install that. You know, of course he wants to beat him. He wants to prove him wrong. Of course he does.
I could tell he did when we played him in the, you know, reverse fixture. 100%.
Yeah, but, you know, and I don't, you know, there's going to be fans. The way it's sort of the players have been building up to this, taking abuse and this, that, and the other. I just think that we'll grind out a result. I really do.
I'd love that.
I really do, and I think that we'll beat them 1-0. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. I thought he was going to say 2-1. I thought he was going to say 2. I had a feeling.
I think we'll sneak it. We'll sneak it 1-0, and then you got to be looking up again. You know, because we've beaten these teams. We beat, you know, Bournemouth, West Brom. You know, potentially Stoke. You know, you got to be thinking actually because. The more the table's looking and the more the players, the way we're playing, why can't they believe? Because if they believe, that's what matters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
the fans, it kind of does, but it's more the players. If they believe they can
The players are the
get
ones
in,
on the pitch, you know, playing the game.
and I think they are starting to believe that, and I think that they know, you know, West Brom. I didn't expect us to beat West Brom, really. Thought it might be a draw. I just thought that
Yeah, I thought
after that defeat,
thought draw in our predictions. Yeah,
turn, yeah. And really, it was pretty comfortable.
yeah, especially in that second half.
We're above them in the table. We're further ahead of Stoke. Stoke's season's going down the shitter, the same as theirs is.
Yeah.
The only difference is they're at home, but I just think that we're potentially on the cusp of something special. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 Luton win.
Yeah, I'd love that. So you reckon it'll be similar to when we played Stoke? Not Stoke, sorry. We are playing Stoke. Swansea, sorry. Away.
Yeah. I think we can grind that result out.
Yeah, no, as you said, I'd love that. You know, as I said, if there is a time where we're going to do it, I think now is the time. You know, you've seen it. We've been grinding out results, as you said. And yeah, that you know, I could see it, but I don't know. It's one of them. It's one of them.
If we do lose, I'm not going to be like, I'll just be like, well, it's just a hoodoo, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
But as long as we perform, I just think that we've got enough to beat them. And it's you know, it's not going to be like the Birmingham game. I just think that was
Oh no! I don't think it. No.
Too many games. You know, there's a different motivation for this one, and you know, we come back. We keep pulling it back, and we know that we've got to get a result there. You know, even if it's a draw, whatever, that's still be an improvement. But I just think that we're going to sneak it.
Nice. As you say, I'd love that. Something I did want to mention that I nearly forgot to mention. Obviously, their last game, they drew 2-2 to Birmingham. And from what I heard and saw, if I'm being honest, I don't think they deserved a draw. And they were at home for that as well. So, you know, that's another thing you can look at and, you know, give you a bit of positivity, especially if, you know, like I said, or like we said, sorry, our last game. So, yeah, it's one of them. But obviously, they're the score predictions. So there you go, Harry, mate. There's our score predictions. He reckons Jerome will start the same as you. I mean, you know, as I said, I can totally see why if he does. It's just that thing where, you know, I don't think you'll see him playing a lot of games. But, you know, it's only one other game he would have played. So I can see it, and I wouldn't be annoyed with it. Harry says, tell your daddy he's a legend. God, mate, getting the love out here.
Big up yourself.
I did tell the people, actually, Dad, I did tell the people that you are coming Peterborough away. So,
yeah.
Because we was talking about it in our Luton group chat. We was talking about like away games and stuff. And yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one. Big up Ravi. He says, go on, boy. Big up yourself, mate. And he puts, salute, and are you mans getting out of the league you are in? Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. You know, you never know.
Put it this way. This is the best chance that we've had for a very, very long time. And that's what maybe the club's instilling into the players. Look how close you are. You've proved you can beat these teams, compete with these teams, like, you know, but managing it in a certain way. Of course, it's difficult. It's the Championship, but there's always a team that surprises people. The Barnsley last year, you know, there's always a team that does it. Yeah. So why not? Why not us?
Yeah, exactly. Harry says, Ravi, we will get playoffs. So he thinks we will. Oh, and then this is what he said here. This is the gutting part. And get to final and lose, in my opinion, sadly.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But you know what?
Yeah,
if that happens, I'm still proud of my team.
100%.
Yeah, you're going to be gutted, but would you have thought that we'd finish there at the start of the season?
No, especially
Not
what
at
we
all.
was actually aiming for, which is, anywhere above
Just
last season,
yeah,
which was
above
obviously
12, above
Yeah.
12.
Exactly. So
No, because it proves that we're moving on. Brentford done it. They lost 3-4 times in the playoffs, and eventually, done it.
Done it.
It is difficult. It is difficult, but
What hardest
even
league in
the
the world?
teams that are in the playoffs now, we can beat any of them teams. We've beat Forest, haven't we?
No, we drew. We should have beat them. That was when their keeper stepped off the line.
Or Middlesbrough, Huddersfield,
Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth has to be. When we talk about due to where they are and out of them teams anyway, and obviously they've got former Premier League players. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I think that's the standout. But yeah, definitely Middlesbrough, that's not always an easy game, especially if, the support their away fans bring, especially if, where they're located in the UK, and stuff like that. They're good, decent sides. And obviously, like even certain teams, we broke records, like we mentioned, we never used to have great records against Welsh sides. We went to Swansea away, beat them. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff, like that. Harry also says the revenue of getting playoffs alone will pay the new funds for new stadium.
Exactly, yeah. Even getting to the playoffs, especially getting to the final. And if you win it, you get millions, mate. I swear. Get like 120 million or something. Because TV rights, promotion to the Premier League, you get certain things. So, I don't give a shit if we get in the playoffs and we lose, because obviously you play 2 legs. But it'd be worse to lose in the final. Is what it is, isn't it? And then if you get promoted, you get smacked up every week. Just trying not to have the worst record in the Premier League ever. Them ones. I don't know what it is at the moment. I don't know what team it is.
It's Derby, isn't it? When they got 11 points or something.
Yeah. Like as long beat something like that, go out fighting, because it will be difficult in there. Let's just talk.
100%. I do think, not going to be able to. I don't want to. I'm just talking facts. I say this. I think we'll get relegated, but I think we'd surprise a few teams.
Definitely.
Like a 1-0, a 2-0 against. I don't know.
Liverpool.
Maybe. Tottenham. Maybe Chelsea. I don't. We got Chelsea soon, so.
Yeah, no, we would. Of course, we would. Because you want to play,
especially at home.
But we'll see. The Stoke game's another hurdle because of the hoodoo and because they are meant to be a big club. Potentially, if we beat them, their playoff challenge is weakened.
Yeah, that's very true.
Or out of it, same as West Brom.
Especially if you look at the points.
If we keep beating these teams,
to us, we're 4 points
beating.
Of them.
Yeah, if we keep beating these teams, then why the fuck can't we make it? If they're not, and they're meant to be, both them teams you'd have thought would have been right up there, and they were up there at the beginning of the season. West Brom were like 3rd. I think Stoke were like in the playoffs, and they've just fell out big time. QPR is fumbling a bit now, we're just loving it. Our players are loving it. They're like, they're just enjoying the ride, and I think that potentially could stand for a lot, and it's another one of them. Like if we beat Stoke, then you got to think about it again. We've had 2 defeats in the last 10, 11.
I think something like that. Yeah.
It happens in that league. Other teams have lost. Fulham lost recently. QPR have lost recently. But if we keep playing top 4, top 5 form, we'll get into the playoffs easily.
Yep.
But
no, I totally agree.
These sort of games make the difference. The West Brom, obviously, that was major, really. And you look back at it, you'll think, that was a turning point. Stoke, another one. That little period. like West
I think
Brom,
as much
Stoke
as
and
this
Derby.
team's not doing well, I think this was another standout. Swansea, due to the, the records against the Welsh side.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
So,
and I think it'd be another one of them. That's what I think. I think it'd be another one of them. I think we're gonna do it this time. And could you? I don't know if he'll run up into the crowd there, because But if I was him, if I was him, I would, because they did disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. The players as well.
And whatever. I'm glad they did.
Heroes.
I'm glad they did disrespect him, because if they didn't, he wouldn't have got a sack, and we potentially wouldn't have got him back. So
yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point you make there.
And that's probably what he realised. He probably thought, actually, a mentality of not just the fact some of these players as well don't like it. At Luton, they respected me, and he improved players. Whereas these guys thought, nah, you can't do nothing for me. What, you manage Luton? Same thing, and that's why he's doing so well again, because the whole club's got that mentality. What? Who are disrespecting us? You think this, you think that's, we'll show you. And if it's one of them stories. If we did get promoted, they'll all be talking about how we was in the conference a few years ago and we had the 30-point deduction. No one's ever had that. Everyone's going on about what Derby are doing. Yeah. That's just to stay. If they do it, it's a good achievement. But staying in the Championship, we got points deductions next season, point deductions next season, point deductions next season, points deductions. Do you know what I mean? Like all the way through the leagues, and then bang, we're in the conference. They might as well have just put us in the conference.
Yeah,
and we still won something that season. You know what I mean? We won the Johnson's Paint Trophy that season. When you're already going down. Luton Town was starting on -30 in the last league, in the Football League. They've never been in a conference before. They're going down. They're fucked. And they still win something. And then they went down. Thought they had the same thing. They thought there was a big team. This is what the problem we had was, because we was in that league, we shouldn't have been nowhere near. We're at least Championship team. We were going around going, who's this shit team? Da, da, da. And to a certain extent, obviously it's right, but they were loving it. They were all underdogs. They loved playing Luton. They tried better against Luton, and when they beat us, they were taking the piss. Barrow, York, fucking all these teams. Yeah, they were, loving it.
By the way, can you hear that Hoover?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were loving it. So we experienced it, and then our fans turned on our players because of that. And then when John Steele come in, he was like, no. You need to get back to how you are. Like, you're better, but you don't need you need to have that bond between the players. You have to trust in the process. He brought that kind of mentality back, and then bang, smacked shit out of that league. Absolutely banged it, beating teams 8-7-0 every week. You know what I mean? And then, but he was never like a higher man. He's good at them levels, but he's not like potential League One. You know what I mean? Pushing you up, and then they had Nathan Jones on their shortlist, went and got him.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just had to mute it. Obviously, I know you can probably still hear it a little bit, but it's not as bad. But yeah, totally agree with all that. Ravi, we will, mate. It's just a matter of when. In the answer to this, he says, if Watford can make it, don't see why you boys can't as well. And for me, like I said earlier, it's just a matter of when. Because it is going to happen. Let's be serious. So yeah, that's what I will say about that. Anything you want to say about that, Dad?
Yeah, I'll get where he's coming from, but Watford had a lot of help. That's what some people forget. Their stadium's slightly bigger. I don't know about more money, maybe from revenue, but they had, the owners there who owned about 3 other football clubs, and they were loaning them players from their other clubs and stuff. You know, they were cheating basically. You know what I mean? You know, they were signing players from Atlanta and all that. Half their team was Italian, I swear. You know, and they've done it. You know, but I wouldn't gauge against Watford. I'd gauge against Brentford. You know, Wolves, even like these other teams, yeah, Wolves, Sheffield United, Wigan, possibly even Brentford. They were in like League One. Yeah, and they'd gone into the Premier League. Wolves, great example. They went all the way down to League One, rebuilt, bang. You know, Sheffield United, League One, rebuilt, bang. They went up there. So of course we can do it. Of course we can do it. You know, our club is ahead of certain things like that. You know, so if they can do it, yeah, they might have had a little bit more money, this, that, and the other. But you know, Bournemouth, that season we had the -30. Like I said before, they were in the same league. They had -17 points. They appointed a young manager they believed in, Eddie Howe. He took them all the way up from League Two to the Premier League. At one point, when they were in the Championship, I think he left us Burnley, similar to Nathan Jones. Then they sacked him, didn't work out. He'd come back to Bournemouth, got them promoted, established in the Premier League. Yeah, this is Bournemouth who were in League Two the same fucking time Luton were, right? And they're similar size stadium still now as well. They ain't even got a new stadium, whereas we are getting one. And they were in the Premier League for a good few seasons, doing well, absolutely brilliant. So if that's who I'd gauge it against, if Bournemouth can do it, Luton 100% can do it.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. Obviously, we've spoken about, you know, our comparison to Bournemouth as well, you know, and stuff like that. You know, a lot of these teams as well, you know, because they've been in the Prem for a little while, even though they haven't done anything in it, just been in it. I think they're the big balls, basically. So, yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them. But, yeah, we'll get into some more comments. Ravi says Forest want the FA Cup. I mean, I don't blame him. You know, how far they've got in it, whether they'll win it, I'm not really too sure, but they can have a really good run. Potentially, you never know. You never know. They could maybe get to the semis or something like that. You know, with the results they've had as well, you know, the last 2 rounds, they've beaten Premier League sides. So, you know, don't blame them at all. And obviously, I believe they've got a home tie, haven't they, for the next round? So, it's one of them. Tyler, give us a song. Nah, not today, mate. Not today. Ravi says, I'm talking in general. It's all good making it to the Prem, but can you stay in the league? Now, we don't think, you know, we would straight away, you know, but I think we would, you know, surprise a few teams, get some shocking wins, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know about staying in there straight away. You know, we've touched on that quite a lot of times. So yeah, it's one of them, really. It's one of them. But yeah, that is everything I wanted to cover. Unless there's anything else you want to say, Dad.
Just you know, big RIP to the guy that
Oh yeah, absolutely
passed away, and they, you know, gave a round of applause in the 75th minute. That was good to see. And then the recent passing, I think it was on Sunday, of Jamaica Edwards.
Yeah,
it was. I don't know if anyone knows on here, but he was quite a famous YouTuber. Like, I used to listen to a lot of stuff from his channel SBTV. You know, like my drum and bass MCs and certain UK rap artists that, as he said, weren't getting represented by the mainstream media, because, you know, I'm all about my underground. Big influential person to a lot of youngsters and other music channels.
Helps a lot of people like bring their music.
Everyone knows him. Got an MBE. You know, 31 years old. He was born in Luton. His mum was born in Luton. He moved to London. I believe, like, you know, he supports Chelsea.
Yeah.
But he also supports Luton.
Yeah.
You know, there's pictures of him in Luton shirts.
Yeah, I was going to say.
In one picture of him in a Chelsea shirt, but I've seen quite a few pictures of him in Luton shirts. So he clearly supported both teams. You know, you can just go, oh, I'll look out for the results. That's what they're trying to. Oh, he just looked out for the results. Well, I think he's done more than that, because why would he buy the shirt? You know what I mean? And you know, possibly it's fitting because when we play them, it's on BBC. You know, it's in the mainstream media. He had an MBE. A lot of people know. Potentially, like a round of applause in the 31st minute of that game wouldn't surprise me, and should be done actually.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So
everyone will do that.
Rest in peace to him.
Absolutely. Obviously, thoughts and prayers with his family and friends as well.
Definitely.
So yeah, fair play for remembering that, because I nearly forgot. So, no, I read that comment, didn't I? Last words: Chelsea to lose against Lille. Now, obviously, this is the Luton show, but yeah, talking about that, a lot of people are saying that, and you know, when I don't know, because Chelsea, you know, I believe they haven't conceded in the last 3 Champions League games, but then again, Lille, they're 11th in their league. That, you know, they're fighting. Well, their focus is Champions League. You know, when you're 11th in the league, well, it's one of them. But you never know. And Ravi says, "Yeah, I know Edwards and SBTV from back in the day. Yeah, Ravi's obviously in his 30s, so he'll know about them. So yeah, but yeah, as I said, fair play for remembering that, because I nearly forgot. But yeah, anything else you wanna say?
Big up Luton Town. Yeah, let's get this positive vibe going behind us, and who knows where it can take us. You know, that's I think that's the little extra.
Another step in that. You know what I mean? I think
that I think that's the extra kick that maybe the fans need. They need to believe more. You know what I mean? Like, because I think sometimes if they're not, they're like, oh no, we're playing away. Like we haven't won 3 games in a row. I think the players.
And you was telling me about our record at home compared to away. It's not really.
Yeah, different. And I think the players feel that. If the fans are a bit edgy and thinking, nah, we can't actually make it, it rubs off on them. So I think if we just go for it for the last whatever how many games there is left, 15 games or whatever, just go for it. We haven't got nothing to lose. No. Just all chip in together and see where where it takes us.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%. Totally agree with that. Ravi, Dad, you'll like this comment. It says, Tyler, your dad reminds me of a young Danny Darren. That's brilliant, mate. That is brilliant. But yeah, anything else?
Nah, that's it. Big up everyone for listening. And
yeah, big up everyone.
Enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy that. Hopefully it'll be what I said.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it's not what I said, but I just got that feeling. But then again, like I said, if there is a time to break it, I think now is the time. Especially with how we've been, you know, in recent games and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll be back again on Thursday with another Luton show. So you've only got to wait a day, and then bosh, back again. Obviously, in that one, we'll be talking about the Stoke game and previewing the weekend game against Derby, which is going to be an interesting one. But obviously, we'll get into it more there. Dad, obviously, you do music as well. Where can I find it?
Yeah, Dazzy D Mixcloud. Got a few drum bass mixes on there. Liquid, Jump Up, Jungle. I know you can see also like people that I'm subscribed to. Like, I don't know if you like old school UK garage and stuff like that. If you don't, maybe your parents will. There's Garage Nation sets and everything on there, like old classics that people will just like. I hunted them all down, so no one else has to. So yeah, check that out.
There you go, people. Link to that is in the description. Make sure, smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, with the notification bell on as well. That would be much appreciated. And share the channel. Did I just say that? I think I did. But anyway, if you want to follow me across any of my socials, link to them is in the description. And obviously my other channel as well, T-Boys TV, where I post clips and highlights. So yeah, there you go. Turn the notification bell on for that as well. That'd be much appreciated. And big up Wolf. He says, "Hey lads, but the gutting thing is, mate, we're literally about to wrap up. But yeah, I'll be back, or we'll be back again on Thursday. Got a few content planned for Thursday, and yeah, you might potentially have 3 streams or 2. It'll be 3 or 2. So yeah, and then Friday you might have one, but I'll get more into it nearer the time. But yeah, we'll see you on Thursday. So until then, big up everyone. Take care and peace.